Hello, I'm Tiffany and welcome to the Raw Report. Representative Matt Gaetz of Florida was questioned during a House Rules Committee hearing on Wednesday as he argued against a criminal referral of Steve Bannon to the Department of Justice after the Trump ally refused to comply with a congressional subpoena. Here's a look into the hearing.
Let's start with basics. Do you accept that Joe Biden won the 2020 presidential election?
I accept that Joe Biden is the president.
Do you accept that he won the election by more than 7 million votes and defeated Donald Trump by 306 to 232 in the Electoral College, a margin that Donald Trump called a landslide when he beat Hillary Clinton by the same numbers?
I think that our election was uniquely polluted by these indiscriminate mail-in ballots. I think that this was the first time in America's history where the mailbox beat the ballot box.
Do you think there's any evidence that there was electoral corruption or fraud that materially altered the outcome of the presidential election, and where is that evidence?
I believe that had mail ballots not been sent to people who had not requested them, that Donald Trump would be sitting behind the Resolute desk.
Okay, but you don't think that there is, legally speaking, I know you're a lawyer because you went to the great law school, William & Mary. Legally speaking, there was no election fraud or no election corruption. Well, let's put it this way. Do you agree that 61 different federal and state courts, including 8 judges that Donald Trump appointed himself to the federal bench, have rejected every claim of electoral corruption or fraud that have been advanced? Do you agree with that?
I don't, and the reason is those claims are not evaluated because in many of the circumstances you reference, jurisdiction was the principal question. So I think it requires a review of the procedure.
Do you have any case authority in the land of those 61 cases or any other cases where a court has determined that there was electoral corruption or electoral fraud that materially affected the outcome of the election in any state in the union?
No court.
Do you have one?
Which I believe is a real failure of the judiciary. I think the Article III courts failed our country by not exercising more jurisdiction over those questions. Now, there's a difference in whether or not fraud existed and whether or not there's an adequate remedy, and I think also a number of those cases were kicked on remedies.
No court has said that fraud existed, and so there's no remedy because there's no violation, Mr. Gaetz.
Right, but you cannot.
There's no violation, there's no fraud.
Decided that there was no fraud if they didn't take up the question and review the facts on jurisdiction or remedy.
You know what? That might work on Steve Bannon's podcast, but that's not going to work in the Rules Committee of the United States House of Representatives. I'm sorry.
Gaetz wasn't alone when refusing to acknowledge Biden's legitimacy as the rightful president and also refused to present any evidence to back up his accusations. At the same hearing on Wednesday, Representative Jim Jordan from Ohio refused to say that the 2020 election was not stolen by President Joe Biden. Chairman James McGovern asked Jordan, "Can you say those 5 words today?" And Jordan replied, "I'll give you the same answer. I never said it was. I said we should investigate it. I said on January 6th, when the electoral votes were counted, that Joe Biden is the president of the United States. The real question is, why don't you guys want to investigate what happened?" Jordan went on to accuse Democrats of not condemning the violence that occurred in the aftermath of George Floyd's death in 2020. To check out the full story, please be sure to visit rawstory.com, and thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see more of the Raw Report, please like and subscribe, and join others who like their news raw too.